It lives! It lives! It's alive! No, it's alive. It's not alive. Well, it is alive. And it is also story time on the schoolie. Welcome. I guess I should, when I start, I should try to do a professional like ish introduction so that you know this is story time on the schoolie. This is, hang on a second, Saturday. Oh, fuck, it's Saturday. Who knew it was Saturday? I didn't. Saturday, November 21st, coming to you live from the third row of my converted school bus where I live with two very large, hello Lisa, where I live with two very large bull mastiffs named Gonzo and Winston. Okay, I just finished my introduction, my professional-ish introduction. How are you, Lisa? There's going to be more coming from TikTok, I think. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. They were all going to come over. I was live. Were you in my live? Lisa, were you in my live just a minute ago? How are you today? How's the weather where you are? The weather here in Florida, I am pretty good. I'm really digging this new medicine the doctor started me on. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm still not getting shit done, but I don't care, and I'm happy. The fact that I don't get shit done is not stressing me anymore. It'll get done. Actually, I did some organizing and cleaning yesterday, so I have hope for this medicine. Right? Instead of being completely bummed out and depressed because I haven't cleaned since June, since I haven't really done a deep clean since I found TikTok. So instead of being always depressed and stressed because I haven't cleaned since June, I'm like, hey, whatever, it'll get done. It will be there. It won't leave. That's right. Good morning, Irma. How nice to see you, Irma. Thank you for joining. My stepmother's name was Irma. When she passed away, I sang, ding dong, the witch is dead, witch, oh witch, the wicked witch, ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. But you're not her, because she spelled hers with an I, and she's gone. But I'm happy to have you. Are you, your aunt's name was Irma? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Misty Wallace. Nice to see you. Very nice to see you. Yeah, my stepmother's name. Oh, no. I liked Irma. Oh, my God. What am I saying? Irma and I bumped heads several times, but overall, I liked Irma. Okay. She loved my black grandson, and my own aunt didn't rejected him, so I liked Irma. I didn't sing Ding Dong when Irma died. I sang Ding Dong when the other one died. My brother will watch this, and that is his mother. So, Tim, if you see this, I am very sorry. I did not mean to disrespect your mother, but you know that she and I never, ever, 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 ever liked each other, even a tiny little fucking bit. So you cannot really be surprised that I would react that way. Yep. He should not be surprised. And my dad was such a good guy that I have actually two brothers named Tim. One passed away 6 months before I was born, and the other one was born 5 months after the one who passed away was born. And they were both named Timothy. They were from obviously different females. I make you laugh numerous times a day. Oh, that's great. Then my work here is done. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, but I have two brothers named Timothy. I didn't meet one of them until I was how old was I when I met him? And where was my daughter? Oh, I brought my daughter with me. What the fuck is wrong with me? I was not a good mother, but there's no but. I don't think I was. I mean, I was a good provider, but as far as really knowing how to raise a child, I had no fucking clue. I was doing the best I could, okay? I was doing the best I could. Raised in a family that taught me to cut corners every chance I got. I feel sorry for my child. Sometimes, and sometimes it's like, I feel sorry for her a lot, actually. I feel sorry for her a lot. You're honest and raw. I love seeing you, sweetheart, and hearing your stories. I'm so glad, Misty. That makes me feel so happy. We all do the best. We're not perfect. Well, you know, I think I raised her like in a 150% better environment than I was raised. And I had no idea how to do that. You know, I just put my nose to the fucking grindstone and drug her along with me. Like, come on, we got to survive. And this is where I think we're going to survive, is over here. You know, we're going to try that shit. Come on. There you go. You got a house, you got food, you got clothes. I brush your hair every day and you are not dirty. So that's about all I know for sure that I want to make sure doesn't happen to you. Yeah. You know, it was like, you subbed in. Oh, hi, very, very Mary. Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you so much for joining. Very, very Mary. Thank you so much. But yeah, poor girl. I mean, because I could tell you guys the story of my ex-husband, how I met him and our relationship. That was pretty fucking traumatic. I don't know if I want to do traumatic today. No, we're not going to do traumatic today. I'll save that for another day. I did traumatic last week, and, you know, we could have some good stories, right? I don't know. I could find some. I'm trying. Oh, good stories in the school bus. Let's do happy today, right? Going to the desert in the school bus is great. It really is. Even if, like, I have so much social, I'm so bad in a social setting. I'm really just entirely too blunt. Chasing Oz. Okay, I'll try to remember to do that. Chasing Oz. I'll try to remember to do that. But traveling around the country in a school bus is, oh my God. You know, here's the thing. The very first time I pulled up to a rest stop and used my solar panels to cook my first meal in the bus, and my stove, and let my dogs go to the bathroom, and then we put the antenna up for the TV and watched local TV for free in the back of my bus. So much fun. Yay, very, very merry. We do have a lot of fun we have fun. Here's the thing. In the morning, I need someone to talk to like I need air to breathe. Like, it changes my entire mood for the entire day if I have someone to talk to in the morning. So it's a mutual benefit, because not having someone to talk to in the morning drives me fucking nuts. It really does. I had someone to talk to every morning for most of my life because I had my daughter. The magic bus, woohoo, it's the magic bus. Yes, traveling across country. It's so freeing to be in a bus where you can just move down the road, you know, and pull over at a wide spot as long as you were sure you weren't going to get a ticket, because that's kind of a drag. I never got a ticket. I lived on the road for 3.5 years and never got a parking ticket. I got a lot of nasty, nasty warnings on my window, which really would offend me. I don't know why, because I should have known I was going to get a nasty warning eventually. I mean, you know, there's just so long. You can take up all the parking places in one of the most beautiful turnouts in in Oregon, and just chill on the beach for 3 days. I mean, they're gonna tell you to move the fuck along, okay? I'm in a 35-foot long school bus. Oh, you traveled in your RV, so you know exactly how I feel. Oh, if I were to drive today, it would, no, I couldn't drive today. I could not drive today because I have not been, you know, I was cognizant of keeping everything packed up and not unpacking too much every time I would stop. So it would only take me like 10 minutes to secure everything. But I think it would take much, much long. Actually, you know what? No, it wouldn't take me that long. It really wouldn't. I could drive today. Here's the thing. I would have to drive off and leave a whole bunch of shit that's outside. I would have to leave a bunch of shit that I got out of here and moved into a little shed area and under the bus. And, you know, I'm just such a horrible organizer. I really am. For a smart woman, I'm just really stupid on some things. But I never should say but. Anything that comes before a but doesn't count. Remember that. It's true. When somebody says a string of shit and then says but, then all the string of shit before they said the but needs to just get tossed out. Just listen to what they say after the but, because that's all that they really truly mean. That's the way I look at it anyway. You can't say but. Either say it and mean it, or don't say but. Start a new paragraph. You know? Oh, Lisa, you're so sweet. All you want is one pup? I'm sure I would give you way more than one pup, honey. I'm pretty generous. It depends. If it's hard for me to get, then one puff may be all you'd get. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. What you doing, Winston, huh? Where you going, old man? These dogs are getting to be old men. Oh, don't knock my shit. Oh, Gonzo, you don't knock my shit over. I mean it. You don't need to keep stretching further. He's looking at me like, bitch, you know I do. And you know I will. Keep bitching. Are you keeping him awake? Anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys, not my dogs. You're a lightweight, so one puff. Okay, well, there you go. I can handle that. I most certainly can handle that. The dogs are awake and starting to annoy me. So what stories are we going to tell? Oh, were we going to tell stories about traveling? So you know what it's like. Did you get to see all kinds of stuff? When I would go to the doctor on the road, I met a lot of, because I would go to like urgent care places, and I met a lot of people who were traveling nurses. Lake Worth, Florida. I lived in Boynton Beach. Actually, I lived in Ocean Ridge, which is, I don't know, probably about 20 miles from Lake Worth. 20 miles up Federal Highway from Lake Worth is Boynton Beach. I managed a restaurant in Boynton Beach in the 80s and lived right on the beach in Ocean Ridge. I used to have to cross a drawbridge to get home. It was just amazing. My neighbor on one side was Liz DeLorean, John DeLorean's first wife. My landlord was a linebacker for the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers. His wife was a model who divorced him because he let slip that he said she was bitching at him for spending too much time with this other girl jogging. And he said, "Why are you getting so mad at me this time? You haven't objected to all the other women." And she said, "What?" What? What? So she was dragging him around by the short and curlies, living on their joint property. And he rented his little apartment to me that was right beachfront. Right beach. He was staying in an efficiency on his property, and his wife was living in the big house. And I managed the restaurant in Boynton Beach, and he came in as a customer and sat at the counter. And I was just chatting with him. I was brand new to the area. I had moved into a stupid condo that I really couldn't afford. It was stressing me the F out. I was, oh my God, it was a horrible time for me. It really was. I was overwhelmed. It was the first time really, I mean, it was just, I was trying to be a professional and move shit around and make a house and take care of a daughter. And I was manager of this restaurant, I think I was 24 years old, 25 years old, 24 and a half maybe. My daughter was 3.5 when I got to Florida, 4.5 when I got to Florida. So it was like 86. So I was like 25. And I was manager of this restaurant, and he came in as a customer and sat at the counter. And I used to shoot the shit with all my customers at the counter. And I told him I was looking for a place to live. And he said, "So what kind of place, if you could live anywhere, where would you live?" And I said, "Well, I've been driving around on my time off and looking at all of the little cottages that are right on the beach." There were all these cottages that had been built in like the 20s or 30s, efficiency little apartments, that used to be hotels that you could rent, but now they were owned by private people, and rented out. And some of them were so fucking cool, from the 50s with all the blue and the glass block stuff. It was just so fucking cool, those little places. And so I said, in one of those little apartments right along the beach, those little cottages right along the beach, it would just be amazing to live there. And he leaned over and pulled a key out of his pocket and put it on the counter. And the restaurant that I managed, it was a clock restaurant, so it was a 24-hour Denny's or IHOP type restaurant, but it was owned by an Italian family that had moved to Florida from Michigan and started a whole chain of restaurants. And so, yeah, and so he leaned over and pulled this key out and put it on the counter and said, and then took a napkin and a pen and drew me a map on how to get to it and said, "Go take a look at that and tell me if you like it." And I said, "Okay." I got my car and drove over to take a look at it. And it was like, holy fuck. Oh my God, this would be amazing. This would be just amazing. And so, yes, I said yes. It had a Bahama bed that had like a twin bed this way. And actually it had, a Bahama bed is like an L-shaped piece of furniture that's like a sofa and a love seat that's connected together by particle board. That typically has some storage in it, and you can use, this is like a couch and a love seat, but there's storage underneath it, drawer storage underneath it. So I put my clothes in one side and her clothes in the other side, and there was a little kitchen. It was like a one-room thing. She was like 4 years old. Actually, she was 4 years old. She was 4 years old. And so I put her in the small bed and me in the big bed. And I went back, I was like, yeah. And he like charged me $350 a month. There was an air conditioner in the window, and I could hear the ocean waves from my bed. I went to sleep every night. We went to sleep every night that we lived there, and we lived there for a couple of years. We went to sleep every night listening to the beach. We would go for long walks on the beach. One time we were on the beach, and we had walked all the way up the beach, and we turned around and we're coming back, and we noticed these crabs on the beach that they were real aggressive. Typically the crabs would just run away from you, but the crabs, instead of running away from us, were like stopping and looking at us and putting their pinchers up like, "Come on, bitch. Come on, bitch. What do you want, bitch?" Like they were putting instead of running into their holes, They were wanting to fight us. These little fucking crabs were stopping, like, come on, come on. And we were like, that's really odd. Why are they doing that? Typically they run and hide. And then we looked over and it looked like the dunes were moving. It looked like, yeah, right? That's so anyway, yeah. And so I looked over and the dune was moving. And I was like, what the hell? And so we went over and it was all these tiny baby turtles. Little tiny fresh hatched turtles, and they were on their way. I'm sorry, Mary, this is story time, so I try to stay focused on story time because it's recorded. But we can talk about what's going on in your life when we get back to TikTok after story time, because it sounds like it's really hard, but this is recorded story time. So anyway, so we looked over at the turtles. And we're like, oh my God, that's why the crabs were wanting to fight us, because they knew those baby turtles were on their way. So my little 4-year-old daughter and I dug a trench for them to make it to the surf and kept the crabs away and went around picking up these little baby turtles and putting them in the trench so they could find their way into the surf and watching them swim out. I mean, that's an experience she got to have when she was 4 years old. It was just freaking amazing. It was just amazing. Um, and that linebacker who gave me the apartment, when he moved out of that apartment, he moved into the back of his furniture store in Palm Beach. He had a furniture store in Palm Beach. He let me and my daughter move into that little oceanside. On one side of me was Liz DeLorean's, John DeLorean's first wife, Liz DeLorean. On back over this way was Playgirl's centerfold of the year for that year in the 80s. He was always on the beach with all his model girlfriends. It was like so fucking intimidating for this little Texan girl to see these model girlfriends on the beach with him. On the other side was the chief accountant for the National Enquirer and his wife and daughter. And she was so cool. I became pretty good friends with her, but I was so fucking retarded because I didn't know how to, I was trying to figure out how to live. I didn't have a personality really. I didn't have boundaries. It was just insane. Here I am managing this restaurant and I'm 26 years old and I'm living on the beach with all these fucking famous people and I'm trying to raise this child. It was so funny. I met the people to the left of me because my daughter, after I moved in, my daughter went around to all the neighbors because I didn't really watch her. I thought kids were okay playing outside. I didn't have any fucking idea how to be a mother. I didn't have a mother, so I pretty much just did what I wanted. So, we live on the fucking beach and I let my kid go outside. It took me a long time to realize that's probably not a good idea, and I felt guilty about it my whole life. But my daughter went over to the neighbors' houses and invited them and their children to her birthday party. So the neighbors came over and said, no, Callie came over and invited us to her birthday party. And I was like, oh my God, I wasn't planning a party. And so I went... I went to the store and got Valentine leftover because she was born on the 17th and it was right after Valentine's Day. So all the Valentine's Day stuff was, I went to the store and got Valentine decorations because I was so poor. You just don't know how broke I was. I really, honestly, if I hadn't been able to feed us out of the restaurant, we wouldn't have eaten. It's Kali. So she went around and invited everybody. So these young mothers that had children my daughter's age helped me plan a party, and we all went over to their terrace. And her husband was the chief accountant for the National Enquirer. The other girl was a masseuse, and she had a daughter Callie's age too, the masseuse, um, and she had masseused the landlord. I didn't masseuse the landlord, although he kind of threw it out there one time, you know, like he when he was telling me the story about how he broke up with his wife, and I couldn't help it, you know, all the glamour glitz of being an NFL star player and all of this stuff, and he's just standing there just waiting for me to hit on him, and I just fucking turned around and went, okay, well, let's walk back. I don't, you know, I don't know what the fuck this man wants from me, but okay, let's go. You know, that's the only time he ever kind of even came close to hitting on me. He didn't. He took your weirding me out a little, and he was. I don't know why I wasn't attracted to him. I just wasn't. Well, you know, because he was single. I mean, what the fuck? And he wasn't ugly, and he's this big football player, you know, and linebacker for the 49ers, okay? And I was just like, that don't do shit for me. I'm not feeling it, honey. I'm going to go back up the path now. It was like, okay, we'll go back up the path now. But thanks for the apartment, dude. I really appreciate the apartment. My daughter and I will really enjoy it. But anyway, so they invited me to the birthday. I mean, we had a birthday party because my kid went and invited everybody to the birthday party. She got a lot of allergies in Florida, and I struggled to figure out what was wrong with her, and then she would refuse to take her medicine, and I struggled to get her to take her medicine. One time the neighbors came over and said, we heard a kid screaming like it was being tortured. She won't take her medicine. She will not take her medicine. I'm trying to get her to take her medicine because she has horrible asthma from the, you know, shit that's in the air around here. The linebacker's ex-wife decided she was going to pull up all of the vegetation around the little efficiency apartments because she too wanted to live in one of the efficiency apartments. And so she didn't want to look at all the unkept vegetation, so she tore it all up. And it just, oh my God, it put so much nasty shit in the air. My daughter had allergies, and yeah. I mean, I was a good provider, but I just didn't know. I didn't have any idea how to be a mother. I just knew I couldn't raise her with my ex-husband. She was better off with me than being with me while I get beat every day, you know, because he used to beat me horribly. So I had to go to Florida to get away from him, or I would be dead by now. He would have eventually killed me. There's no doubt in my mind. So I had to go to Florida and then figure out how to survive. Yep, so that was that. I am, yep. So anyway, I lived on the beach. It was fabulous, though. Oh my God, it was so amazing. Eventually, we settled in, and things started getting better for us. And I decided I wanted to move out of that apartment because it had just gotten so disgusting because all the bugs that were in those palmetto bushes came in the apartment. I mean, the apartments were just full of these big, huge roaches and lizards and all this crap. I mean, and they would fly around all night long, and I'd hide under the blanket. It was freaking horrible. It was horrible. Oh my God. And I wasn't a good housekeeper. I was so embarrassed. But when I moved into the other apartment, which he rented to me for just as cheap, and it had a bedroom, it was so nice for my daughter to have a bedroom. I started hiring Haitian women I started hiring Haitian women who did dishes at my restaurant to come over and clean the apartment for me. So that's when I figured out I can't keep an apartment. I need to keep it clean, and I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. So I started hiring my dishwashers that worked in the restaurant to come over. And they did such a great job. Oh my God, it was such a relief to have a clean house. And to know that I wasn't going to like leave a disgusting mess when I left, because I don't know how to. I need to be able to hire someone to clean for me. I'm sorry. I just do. I didn't get that skill. That gene missed me. I got that don't clean gene from my mom. But at least I keep myself clean. My mother didn't keep herself clean. So, yeah. And yeah. I need to stop talking about how bad I am at cleaning house. Anyway, Anyway, that was great. We lived on the beach for about 3.5 years. The National Enquirer had a big party, a big Christmas party, and invited me over. It was so cool. Everybody who worked on the staff of the National Enquirer came over to that. They rebuilt this apartment over. Oh, they just did such a fabulous job. This couple that worked at her husband worked at the National Enquirer. They bought one of the old 1950s hotel that was across the street from them, and they remodeled all of the hotel rooms into efficiency apartments. And then they reinforced the structure and the roof of the hotel and built a house on top of the hotel that had all of these it had bedrooms, and it was beautiful, and it had the view towards the beach. They, bringing them up that high, they could see the beach from the second floor. And so one whole wall and then the other wall, the sliding glass doors just opened and collapsed into each other, so they could have like parties on their deck. I really liked those people. We were pretty good friends. They understood that I didn't have a fucking clue how to be a person. She taught me, she and her daughter was like a year younger than my daughter, and she taught me how to snorkel. She and she taught me that her daughter could snorkel at 3. And the reason being is that kids will naturally, because they're so close out from being in the womb, they naturally snorkel. It's easy for them. And so we would go out on the beach. It was so much fun. Oh, we had so much fun on the beach. We would go out on the beach and with our flippers on and our masks and our breathing apparatus. And I got my daughter flippers and a mask and a snorkel. And we would all go out, and there would be tourists. There were hotels at the end of the street. And so tourists would walk down to the beach, and they would see her and I out there with these little bitty girls, and we would snorkel all around, and then we would snorkel up to the beach, and the girls knew how to walk backwards out of the sand. They knew how to walk backwards into the ocean, and every place that we went, they stuck right next to us like baby fish do with their mom, or sucker fish do with a shark. And sometimes we would see something cool on the bottom, and we would dive down to go look at it. And you could hear both of these little kids up on the top of the water going, "Oh!" through their little snorkel mouths, and we'd come up, and then we'd go in. I mean, we had so much fun snorkeling around, these little bitty kids getting to see all the tropical fish in the ocean. It was just so cool. It really was. We had so much fun on that beach, snorkeling. And when I moved away, I was so sad. Oh my God, because I thought, I still live in Florida. The company I worked for gave me a promotion, and so that's why I moved away, because I was being offered a big promotion that offered me big bonuses, and I was very career driven. I didn't know how to be I wanted to be a good provider. I never wanted her to worry about the electricity getting shut off. The things that I had to worry about as a kid, I really didn't want her to worry about those things. And so while I didn't know how to be a good mom, I was very driven. I remember somebody asking me, one of my customers, I used to go out and visit with all my customers in the restaurant that was on Federal Highway in Boynton Beach. And I would chat with them, and they would talk to me about my daughter and, all of that. And I remember telling one of them that I just really wanted to work hard to make sure that she was always proud to tell people I was her mother, and proud to tell people what I did for a living. I didn't know how to be a mother, but I wanted to be a good example. I really did. So that's why I was so driven. And when they offered me that promotion, I took it. And the mistake that I made is, you don't realize how little you will go to the beach once you get 10 miles inland. If you don't live right on the beach in Florida, you don't go to the beach very often. There are no private beaches in Florida. They're all public beaches, but they're is no public parking around them. You have to be crowded into limited locations. And I was spoiled by living on the beach. I just want to go to the fucking beach. I don't want to be there with 50 billion people, that come from the hotels and stuff across the street. So I never went back to the beach again, but that was really disappointing. But I so enjoyed living on that beach. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. And my daughter would go to visit her dad for 6 weeks every summer. And I would have so much fun while she was gone. I hate to admit it, but summer is off season for Florida. So the restaurant would be really slow. It was summertime. And I didn't have to put in very many hours because my restaurant was really well managed. And so I would go deep sea fishing, and oh my gosh, I started enjoying buying myself clothes. I would get good bonuses, and I finally, for once in my life, could dress like a fucking human being. And so I really enjoyed the time that I worked at that restaurant and lived on the beach. It was a lot of fun. There was something else I was going to use that to. Some other kind of story. Oh, my drunk story. After I moved away, I went back. One of the guy who I trained to be the manager after I left. One of my cooks had been trained to be a manager after I left, because the guy I left as the manager ended up stealing and leaving. And so one of my cooks talked me into coming there for my birthday so he could buy me a drink for my birthday. And so I drove down to Boynton Beach on my birthday, and we went to the Banana Boat. And if anybody knows Florida, you'll be familiar with the Banana Boat, where, you're sitting on the Intracoastal Waterway at a table with, it's open air. It's so fucking, I thought it was so fucking cool. Coming from Texas, are you kidding me? This is great. And Massachusetts, like the sticks of Massachusetts and Texas, and here I am like at the Banana Boat having drinks. It's great. And I was young and stupid, and he challenged me to a tequila shot contest. And so we did about 10 tequila shots. And then I went out and got in my car. He had rented an apartment that was kind of near the restaurant, but just a few blocks away from the apartment that I had lived in on the beach. And so we were driving to his apartment. And I was so drunk. I had no business being behind the wheel. One of the things that is a byproduct of working in a restaurant like that is you get to know all the cops. And south of Palm Beach, that whole strip of land that is on the beach side of the Intracoastal Waterway. So I lived in Ocean Ridge, and then there's several little towns along that strip of land that is south of Palm Beach that are all, like multi-million-dollar homes. We're talking servants' quarters and that kind of thing. So that's what was all around there. And you get to know all the cops that work in those little towns along the way, because you work in the restaurant, and all the cops come into the restaurant for their coffee breaks, and you visit with them, and that's what you do. So I knew all the cops in the area. So I got pulled over right near where my old apartment was. I lived on Tropical Drive in Ocean Ridge, if you want to Google map that shit. The end of Tropical Drive in Ocean Ridge is where I lived. And I got pulled over. I deserved to be pulled over. I was so drunk. I can't believe I did it. And instead of giving the cop my driver's license, I gave him my fucking business card and told him that I probably know his boss. And he wasn't from the town where I knew any bosses. And I did end up giving him my driver's license, which still had Tropical Drive on it. And this cop was so gracious. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going home." He said, "Do you still live on Tropical Drive?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, go home. I was just like right up to the street. So I said, thank you. I hadn't changed my driver's license I had moved to Margate, Florida, which is like the armpit of fucking Florida, right on the cusp of the shithole of Florida, which is Fort Lauderdale. But anyway, I, he let me go, and I drove to the end of the street and turned into the parking lot where I used to park my car when I lived there. And we got out of the car and went behind the trees. I ended up getting sick. He ended up hitting on me. It was disgusting. He was really disgusting. I didn't want anything to do with him. I was so sick. I threw up. I was laying there passed out, and a cop started kicking my leg with a flashlight. Teresa! Teresa! Why didn't you tell me you don't live here anymore, Teresa? With a flashlight in my eyes. I looked up, and the guy who had been my neighbor was standing there, and he was like, oh, hi, Teresa. I'm sorry. And he went back into his apartment. He'd heard us and called the cops. And then he realized it was me, and he was like, oh, hi, Teresa. I'm sorry. He went back in the house and left me out there to deal with the cops. And he said, why'd you lie to me, Teresa? He said, look, you threw up and you're about to roll in it. He was really pissed off at me. He was really giving me a lot of shit. And this guy that's with me, this fucking loser that's with me, that challenged me to the Keela thing, I was just so naive back then. I was so fucking naive. I should have known what was up, but I didn't. Anyway, he said, why'd you lie to me? I said, because I didn't want to go to jail. He said, well, what are you going to do now? You can't stay here. I said, oh, yeah, I can. I said, I have all friends around here. I'm friends with all these people. I said, I can go over there across the street to her house. I can go over there to her house. I don't have to drive away from here. And he said, well, what about, and then he took our IDs and ran our IDs. He took my friend's ID. And then he handed his ID back to him. And this dumbass that I was with said, see, there's nothing on my ID. And oh my God, I turned to him and looked at him and said, you need to shut the fuck up right now. Shut the fuck up. I had thrown up, so I had sobered up some. He was still drunk. He didn't throw up. Told him to shut the fuck up. I said, I know everybody here. I don't have to drive. Well, how's he going to get home? I said, is he going to stay here? And no, we'll call him a cab. We will call him a cab. I said, you're calling a cab, and I'm going to go over and wake somebody up and beg them to let me sleep at their house. And they said, okay. So we walked over to my friend Lilia, the massage therapist. She was really pretty, and her daughter was fucking gorgeous, and she was such a sweet lady, but she was, in fact, a massage therapist for the rich along that beach. Anyway, I knocked on her door, and she was like, what's up? And I was like, I need a place to sleep. I'm going to be in big trouble. She's like, okay. She told the cops, yes, she can stay here. And a taxi pulled up and took this dumbass away. And there you go, my guardian angel on my fucking shoulder. Another example of me should have been in deep shit, but got out of it. They should have taken me to jail. They absolutely should have taken me to jail. But I have dimples and green eyes, and I have white skin. That's why I didn't go to jail. And I had an address that was just right around the corner. But, yep. Working at that restaurant was a lot of fun. I really wish I'd never left that little store because I had it made. My daughter was in a good school, and I was starting to make good bonuses because I was good at what I did. That's why I got the promotion to run their biggest restaurant, because I was really good. My numbers were fabulous. And it's because I was so friendly. Everybody loved to come in there. On my birthday one year at that restaurant, I got, florist came in with a dozen long stem red roses in a vase. I got flowers for you. I was like, oh, cool. I got flowers. Holy cow. The card said, love, Bud. I was like, I call everybody Bud. Who sent me flowers? I call everybody Bud. Hey, Bud, what's going on? I call everybody Bud. I'm like, okay, good. I went and put them on the windowsill. By the time I got back to the cash register, the florist was coming in again with another dozen roses from somebody else. I was like, holy shit. Card said, happy birthday, Bud. I'm like, oh no. I got 6 dozen long stem red roses from different men for my birthday, all signed from Bud. Because I called every one of them Bud when they came to the counter for coffee. Hey, Bud, how's it going? What's up, Bud? How you doing today, Bud? I called him Bud. Have a good day, Bud. You know, I mean, and so they all signed their fucking cards, Bud. It was really uncomfortable because absolutely none of them were someone I had any interest in at all. At all. I need to add some bake to my wake as well. Hi, Mr. Flaw. Are you Mr. Flaw? I need to add some bake to my wake. So yeah, 5 dozen long stem red roses. There was one man who wrote a song for Tennessee Williams, so he was a good guitar player and a pretty decent lyricist. He wrote a song and recorded it on cassette and gave it to me with a love letter. I know a girl named Teresa, but I haven't known her long. She's got eyes so big and green, and she really turns me on. Teresa, when I see you, you put me in a whirl. Sometimes I'd like, some girls go out, but you can always find her at home. Oh, Teresa. Oh, Teresa. I wish that I would come around. Something about finding you alone and you'd pick up the phone. Oh, Teresa. Hi, kitty cat granny. It was really embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know? Anyway, that was my Florida experience in the 80s after I escaped my abusive ex-husband and drove a U-Haul across country with my daughter in a car seat, not knowing how to be a good parent and not understanding her when she would throw temper tantrums. She threw horrible temper tantrums. Since she was a tiny kid, she temper tantrumed. And I think part of it might have been because, I don't know. I don't feel like we ever really bonded. I don't know. But I was a good provider. I was not the best mother, but I was a good provider. I mean, I was raised by a mother who smelled like piss every day, all day. She had a civil service job working for the Navy, so they couldn't fire her for smelling like piss, but she did smell like piss. And she ran this library, and she was queen of her file system in her library, and she made people pay for checking out the wrong things and not asking the right. I mean, she just loved to come home and tell stories about how she had her shit together and she was not letting anybody give her any shit, and somebody would come in and try to give her shit about her file system and the shit that she had filed or try to use it inappropriately, and she would tell them, oh no, you can't do that. She was like the time and travel clerk. She had to arrange for everybody to travel and to get their right pay fade, and she just, oh my God. And she would do shit with me when I became of age, like take me to work when all of her coworkers were getting out of work in her car, and have me roll my window down and holler at some of the men that were leaving the Navy in, the Navy headquarters in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Call them over to the car and say, look at her. Look at her. Look at what I have. Look at her. Like, you can't have her. Look at what I have. I have this. Look at what I made. It was so fucking degrading and embarrassing, the way that she used me to brag to other people, but she never was a mother to me. She never was a mother to me, but she would use me to brag to her coworkers, look at what I've got. She was the most horrible mother my entire life. But when I got older and was drop dead gorgeous, I mean, I wasn't drop dead gorgeous, but I have green eyes and dimples and dark hair with green eyes, and yeah, that's what she would do. At least she didn't sell me to them like my aunt did her kids, you know. My aunt sold her kids. I shouldn't say that. My cousins will see this. And I would never do anything to hurt their feelings. But she came fucking close. And she used to say to me, you know, when I would started dating, if I dated a guy whose family had money, she was just like, oh my God, Teresa, he's got so much money. You would do so well. Come on, honey. Why don't you like him? Oh my God, you would be so rich. Look at that. I think that may be why I'm so resistant to, you know, I just don't go after men for, that's not a basis for me to go to be interested in a man, is what he has, because she just really grossed me out when she would do that. I hated it because I didn't like the guy. I didn't have any interest in the guy at all. And she was all, oh my God, you know. And he would kiss my ass. His dad told me, if you marry my son, I will buy you any car you want. I will buy you anything you want if you marry my son. He owned a very successful restaurant in the town where I lived. And he told me, if you marry my son, I will give you anything you want. Anything you want. Then I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. It is not worth a brand new car and anything I want, because I don't like your son. Okay, I'm sorry. I can get my own fucking car. And in case you didn't notice, I do have my own car. You know, I mean, that's the way I looked at it. And the more my mother pushed him, the more I was like, fuck that, Mom. You know, you were never a mother to me, bitch. You know, I went to school dirty my whole life with sores in my fucking hair, starving while you ate at work. And you think I'm going to marry who you tell me to? I'm going to... Get the fuck... What the hell? Now that I'm... Yeah, anyway. That's that. That's because my dad raised me. Anyway, I've been on here for almost an hour talking about myself. I guess it's time for me to get off of here. But I hope that you enjoyed story time. It wasn't too self-absorbing. And I will see you over on TikTok. Did I put you to sleep? Rhonda Kincaid, are you able to reply like other social medias? Hi, Mushi. Am I able to reply? Oh, yeah, you can talk to me and I can see you. I can see your chat. Oh, I'm not able to reply with videos. No, not on YouTube. I can't reply with videos. And I can't reply to your, yeah, if that's what you're asking. Hey, Rhonda, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, there were some, I loved living on that beach. Oh my God, I wish I'd never left that beach. I really enjoyed myself on that beach. I was chasing a career. I really enjoyed that I was a really good manager. It was like something I was really good at. And I knew I wasn't good at a whole lot of other things. So the fact that I could do that really well was like a ego charge, I guess. I got a lot of my self-worth from doing a good job as a manager. So when they offered me that big promotion, I took it, and it was hell. I burned out. Good, good, good. No, I can't reply. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Come back for story times. I'll do more. And I'm glad today didn't make me cry. Hi, Kitty Cat Granny. I'm going to shut down now because it's an hour long and that will take a whole day to process. So I try to keep them at an hour long. I'll go live. I'm going to refill my coffee, put a little more coffee in my cup. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoy them, Corrine and Sharon. I'm so glad. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here and I will meet you back on TikTok. And thank you so much for joining. And I hope everybody enjoyed story time. And I will talk to you later.